Today we're making sticky toffee or sticky date pudding. This is the epitome of winter warming desserts. I hope you find this as enjoyable as I have. To start with, I've just lined the tin and preheated the oven. And we're using Dario molds. I'm just going to take a little bit of coconut oil and rub it around the tins, or even some spray oil. I have my dates. To them I'm adding some freshly boiled water. And I'm going to stir in some bicarbonate soda. Bicarbonate soda just helps soften the dates. We're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes to cool down the mixture and then blend the dates. Now this is warm, but definitely not hot. You don't want to ever blend boiling hot liquids because if you're using a NutriBullet, it'll explode. If you're using any type of blender with a lid, the lid will pop off and it's a recipe for a disaster. So now we just blend. And I'm also going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. You can add the brown sugar in this part or in the next part. So this is our liquid component. So then we have our wet ingredients prepared. We just have our plain flour in a bowl along with our baking powder and a bit of salt. This is the way I like to sieve my dry ingredients, just with a whisk. Instead of sieving, it breaks up any light lumps, distributes the baking powder. Then we're adding our wet mixture. And then I'm just whisking this mixture until there are no dry bits of flour left. We have a nice clear batter. So if you have spray oil, like I do, just got some lovely extra virgin olive oil, I'm going to spray my tin. I'm going to make one mold and just fill it. So we want to fill our mold about 3/4 full. And then if we're pouring it into a tray, we're just pouring our batter into the tray. And I'll just spread the batter evenly across the tin. So we want to bake a large tin like this for about 25 minutes and a smaller one like this for about 18 minutes. So our sticky toffee is beautifully golden around the top. When you press the top, it springs back. That's how you know it's ready. I'm going to just let that cool slightly on a wire rack. And we also have a sample of our individual pudding, which we also want to let cool for about 10 minutes before we tip it out of the mold. So I'm just going to leave that on a wire rack as well. To prepare our sticky toffee sauce on the stove in a saucepan, I'm going to combine all the ingredients except the coconut oil. So my milk, the brown sugar, salt, and the cornstarch. And before we heat up the milk, we just want to whisk everything together. Make sure that there are no lumps in the cornstarch so we don't have any lumps in our finished sauce. Now, the traditional recipe is based on a lot of cream, a lot of sugar, and butter, hence the butterscotch. But I think that a lot of amazing flavour is in the muscovado sugar. So we basically have a muscovado flavoured sauce that is just thickened lightly with a bit of starch. So we just want to keep stirring this so it doesn't catch on the bottom. Now bring it to a boil and it will thicken nicely. So you just want to let this cool. I'm going to pour it into a jar. So I'm then adding the little bit of coconut oil, and I'm using a hand blender to blend it together. So we have our freshly blended sauce and our individual pudding mold. It is still warm, still beautiful. You're welcome to cut this larger slab and serve it individually with the sauce on top, or just pour this sauce all the way over And take nice slices out of it and serve them on a plate with some vanilla ice cream, maybe even the no churn vanilla ice cream that I share in another recipe. For our individual serve, I'm just pouring butterscotch wood sauce all the way over the top. Be generous. And that is our sticky toffee pudding, served from a tray, family style, or individually, topped with the no churn vanilla ice cream that we previously made. I have the best job in the world.